I wonder where they got all that cash. I wonder if they paid some of that cash to Tishy. Is Tish pocketing OnlyFans generated cash? Is she profiting off of the sexual exploitation of her family members? Wow. So in a twist that feels like deja vu, James got indicted for bank fraud, same allegations that she made against Trump, and signed a second home rider. What a family, huh?
I love my family and I will defend these charges, and I want everyone to know that it is completely baseless and I am totally innocent. Thank you.
Yikes. She's nervous, you can tell. Tish's family gets worse, not looking good now that an OnlyFans model, who is a fleeing criminal, is also discovered living in her residence. You can see the headline here is an exclusive over from the New York Post. They say that she's housing a criminal OnlyFans model at her other Virginia property, which was also under investigation. A second criminal family member in Virginia. Her grandniece is called Kayla Thompson Hairston, age 21. She's an OnlyFans star. Oh gosh. With a public X-rated social media presence. We're not going to be looking at those, obviously. Was charged in April about lying about her felony criminal record when she tried to buy a gun in Virginia. She was legally disqualified from owning a firearm in August 2020 because of a felony charge of malicious wounding, which Virginia law defines as a crime in which a person shoots, stabs, cuts, or wounds any other person with the intent to maim, disfigure, disable, or kill. Just the perfect Democrat, honestly, because that's how they think. Thompson was a juvenile at the time, and the records of that case are sealed. Wow. And the weapons charges were also later dropped because that was pleaded down to a misdemeanor. Okay, so she wasn't actually a felon, and so that's interesting. So I wonder if she was kind of mischarged. Now, in 2019, when Kayla was 15, she was also caught up in the criminal hijinks of her big sister, Nakia Thompson, who is also a wanted fugitive by North Carolina authorities with a slew of arrests. Here's a photo. Oh gosh. That is the grandniece, Kayla Thompson Hairston, OnlyFans star with a public presence. Her social media profile includes photos of her naked and flashing cash. She recently announced she was pregnant, posted a bunch of videos about that. Both family members live in houses owned by James that have been at the center of federal criminal scrutiny. James is currently facing 60 years in prison for bank fraud and false statements. And here's another photo of this individual, flashing cash. I wonder where they got all that cash. I wonder if they paid some of that cash to Tishy. Is Tish pocketing OnlyFans generated cash? Is she profiting off of the sexual exploitation of her family members? Wow. New Yorkers probably wouldn't care at all, but she would. I mean, that's what they do. Here's another one. Arrested multiple times. James said that the property which she bought in 2020 was a second home and that she would occupy it, but she didn't. The feds say she moved her family in and collected rent on the property after she bought it. She's denied the wrongdoing, told a federal grand jury someone said, I don't pay rent when she went in there. The under fire AG covers the costs, but do not reside at the home. And here's bathing suit photos. Yeah, all right. So here's the tale of two homes. Grandniece Nakia Monique Thompson moved into James's second home. This one was bought in 2020. This one bought in 2023. James's niece Shamise lives here with daughters, OnlyFans model Kayla and Courtney Hairston. And that's a perfect photo of Tish right there. Look how agitated she is. That's Letitia James. She's lived there 16 years on the same street. I've never seen her here ever. Kayla lives at another house that she owns, and James lives in New York, co-signed a mortgage. Look at these. Gosh, just terrible photos of these people. There's more booty photos. There's the house. During the arrest, officers said one of the sisters swore at him. So they went to go investigate what's going on here, told him, get the F off of her. Thompson was also hit with contributing to the delinquency of a minor, as we talked about. There's more cash. Here is what she posted on this message. She says, point of view, all the old head washed out OG dancers trying to hate, fight, and talk crap because you a new young pretty dancer making money. Okay, so maybe she strips or something. And there's her pregnant belly. And in April, James got a federal criminal referral. Abby Lowell, representing her, called the referral meritless and said this was just revenge for her political attacks against Trump to the tune of $500 million. So in a twist that feels like deja vu, James got indicted for bank fraud, same allegations that she made against Trump, and signed a second home rider. What a family, huh? All right, so then we got the arraignment coming up, and the judge has given us some guidelines on this. Tish cannot bring any snacks with her. Here's the details from the court. The arraignment of Tish James will begin promptly on Friday at 11 a.m. Friday, October 24th. First floor of the courthouse. Courthouse opens at 8:30. Because seating will be limited, courtroom 1 will be reserved for overflow. They will have screens in there that you can watch what's happening in courtroom 5. The hearing, though, will not be delayed for transmission issues at all. All seating in courtroom 5 and 1, first come, first serve. And we want appropriate decorum to be maintained. We'll see if Tish takes off her shoes. Food and water are not permitted in either courtroom. Members of the media will be treated identically identically to other members of the public. The court will not issue media passes, will not designate special seating. Any media personnel who are unable to obtain a seat have to go to a different courtroom. Now, we also think that there's going to be a lot of security, and there might be delays. Attendees should plan their arrival times accordingly to avoid delays. Be aware of all our security at this link, and you need to present valid photo ID to get in. All visitors, including members of the media who wish to bring a cell phone or smartwatch into the courthouse, will be required to power them off and place them in a yonder patch. The pouch will be locked by a court security officer when you enter and unlocked when you leave. No cell phones. Further details about the courthouse electronics policy can also be found here. Signed by Judge Jamar out in Norfolk, Virginia, in the criminal division against Tishy. Now, Tish was out and she was very unhappy with this. Man, look at that face. She's going to enter facial spasm zone again. Here's what she had to say.
Well, first of all, the decision was based on the Administrative Procedure Act, an arbitrary and capricious act by this agency, an unlawful act. And so too is the indictment. It's baseless. It's nothing more than retribution. Retribution for basically doing my job, following a 2-year investigation in a congressional hearing.
Wow, she sounds nervous. You can almost hear it in her voice.
It wasn't political. It was based on facts and the application of the evidence.
No, it wasn't. The Court of Appeals actually scolded you. Like, why would you even bring this claim? You ran for office to go take out Trump. It was baseless. Nobody was injured. There was no victim at all. And you weaponized your office to try to take him out to the tune of $500 million while you were committing mortgage fraud, your own.
And the judgment was sustained. The amount of the disgorgement was dismissed, but the judgment remains. And so at this point in time,
yeah, it was meaningless.
And we will vigorously defend those charges, those baseless charges. And my arraignment, as you know, is next Friday.
Yeah, it is.
I visit Norfolk quite frequently.
Content
my
warning.
family is in Norfolk. I love my family, and I will defend these charges, and I want everyone to know that it is completely baseless, and I am totally innocent. Thank you.
Yikes. She's nervous. You can tell. We've watched a lot of Tish here. Way too much. More Tish than I would recommend to anybody. But that was a different attitude that we saw from her. Totally baseless. She seems nervous. You can hear the quivers in her voice. So Tish, her family, and others now being held to account for this little mortgage fraud scam that they were all engaged in while they were doing their OnlyFans pornography. Now justice will be served and she'll be in court next week. We'll keep our eyes on this one. Thanks for subscribing and joining as we do.